Muchanic, and welcome to Perspective New Jersey. If you've ever been frustrated by government and politics and wanted to get involved to change things, there may be a group in New Jersey that can help you do that. It's called the Citizens Campaign, and organizers recently held their first statewide summit, attracting people from all over the Garden State. Here to tell us about the campaign is its founder and chairman, Harry Pozycki. Harry's had a 30-year career in government and politics, and you know he's the real deal because besides former Governor Tom Kean, he's the only New Jersey resident ever named as the Philadelphia Inquirer's Citizen of the Year. So, Harry, thanks for being here.
My pleasure, Nora.
First of all, if you will, the Citizens Campaign, what is it? Who is it?
Well, we're an all-volunteer organization, mostly former government officials and experts in government law and policy, and we're trying to mount a call to service. You know, these are tough times, and America needs to find its backbone again, and we figured no better place to start than in New Jersey, so we issued a call to service. And the goal is to replace the culture of political self-interest and government waste with a culture of service and frugality.
That's a tall order, especially in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, actually, the citizens of New Jersey have responded very well. We recruit them and educate them to take part in the leadership of government, not just to lobby government or be watchdogs, but to get involved and bring their own constructive proposals. And they've been coming out in droves, so we're very encouraged.
Now, do you want these people to become elected officials, or you want them to be almost the anti-elected officials?
Well, no, we want them to help their elected officials. The bottom line is that most citizens don't have the time or circumstance to run for public office, but we've designed a four-course curriculum with half-hour classes available online for citizens who only have at most 2 hours a week and who want to participate constructively. We have a no-blame approach, and they can participate in appointed offices or in party offices. They can bring waste-cutting proposals to their town council, and they can make a difference. They can actually be part of the leadership without running for office.
What do you mean by a no-blame approach?
Well, we think this is democracy, and a democracy is a government of the people, so if we have any blame, we should blame ourselves first if we're not willing to step up to the plate and make it a better country, and we're doing that right now.
So, so what kind of positions are you talking about? Advisory boards, or is this just about going to a council meeting and knowing how to talk the language of the elected officials?
Well, it includes that. One of our positions is citizen legislator, where we teach citizens how to develop their own ideas for cutting government waste at the town council, the school board, or their county government, and we teach them how to present it in a politically effective way so they get their proposals adopted. We've already been successful with over 250 proposals being turned into local laws and saving money. We also have a path to leadership in political parties. A young woman in Trenton came to us and knew nothing about political parties, took a half-hour course, talked her fiancé into running for a local seat. They both won. She then got on the county rules committee, and just 2 weeks ago, she was named chairman of Trenton's Democratic Party. We also have appointed offices. We had a woman in Hopewell Township, didn't like the irresponsible development going on. She wanted to learn how to get a seat on the planning board. We taught her how. 2 years later, she was chair of the planning board, and 2 years later, she was mayor. So we show insider moves that politicians use and citizens don't know about, so citizens can get into the game and make a contribution.
Can you give me an example of what you're talking about when you say insider moves? Like what did your Hopewell mayor or your Trenton person not know before?
The Hopewell mayor came to us and said, look, I've wanted to serve on the planning board, but I go to the meetings and the mayor hates me. They see me as somebody that's always against their development proposals. And we said, well, we'll show you how. She said, how do you do it? We said, well, go down to town hall and take out a petition to run for mayor, because the mayor is up for election this year. She said, the mayor is very powerful. Nobody's going to run against him. I could never beat him. I said, just take the petition and bring it home. She said, I don't want to circulate a petition. We said, put it in your desk drawer. She said, why would I do that? And he said, because you're going to get a call from the mayor or his campaign chair who have a primary election with no opponents where they can go for 6 months and go to the ball game and go to Atlantic City and not worry about anything. And they know they can beat you, but they're going to have to work for 6 months raising money, going to Chamber of Commerce and League of Women Voters debates, and they're going to call you up and they're going to say, what do you want? And when they ask you that, say, I want an alternate position on the planning board. That's the least position. She did that. She became a planning board member, and as we said, went all the way up to mayor.
So it's just knowing how to go about it.
Yeah, you've got to know how to exercise leverage. You've got to know where your opportunities are, and that's just a little bit of insider training, and you can get it in a half-hour course. And if you take the course and you commit to the no-blame approach and to going into service, then we give you an experienced political or governmental coach, somebody that's been at it for 20, 30 years and knows the insider moves and will help you along.
Now, I mentioned in the intro that you had a summit, a statewide summit in June. So 1,300 or 1,400 people who are interested in what you're talking about. Tell me about the summit.
It was called the Jersey Call to Service Summit. It was in New Brunswick on June 9th, and we were hopeful that we might get as many as 1,000 people. As you said, there were nearly 1,400 people, and they came there to take courses. We had 4 different forums on different paths to citizen leadership, and they took those courses. They learned how and signed up for service. That's why I'm encouraged about New Jersey. People care. You know, 9/11 came and nobody called them to service. The Gulf disaster came and nobody called it to service. So this is an opportunity for those who really care about their country and about their state and who want to make a difference to step up to the plate.
Now, you've been around for decades. Can regular citizens really make a difference, or is this like a new movement, or have you been frustrated all the years you've been doing this kind of work?
Look, I've been retired for 10 years, and we've been experimenting with ways that regular citizens can just spend a little time, learn how to do it, and make a difference. And in our experiments, we've learned just how. And as I said, citizens who conceived of the idea, for example, to have pay-to-play reforms that would stop political officials from taking money from government contractors when they were negotiating the cost of the contract, actually passed local pay-to-play laws in over 150 towns across New Jersey. It created a state law. It's now being passed in other states and was just introduced at the federal government. And that was because of regular citizens at the grassroots level. They need a little bit of help. That's why we have these experienced coaches and teachers that help them. But once they get the basics, they're off and running.
I was going to ask you about these coaches. Who are they, and is it the kind of thing where I've run up against something, I don't know what to do, you pick up the phone and you call some guy who used to be the DEP commissioner, or how does it work?
Well, after you've taken one of our courses, then you're asked, and you can take the courses online, jointhecampaign.com, pick one of the 4 courses. Half an hour later, if you've completed the course, a question comes up: do you want to go into service, and will you serve on a no-blame basis? If you do, then you're assigned a coach, and the coach will be available for 2 phone calls or 2 emails a month whenever you hit a roadblock, and they are former cabinet members, former mayors. Governor Kane's been involved with us. He's been promoting the Jersey Call to Service and asking people to answer the call as he did years ago.
Tell me about this book, the manual here. What is in here? What's this all about?
Well, my wife told me we needed to do this. My former career, I was a lawyer. So what we did was we looked up every legal right that a citizen had to participate before the planning board, the school board, the town council, and the local political parties. And this is the rule book, basically. So if you want to be a citizen, you want to know your rights, and you want to know the basic political moves, this is the Citizen's Manual, and it's available for free. All of our work is available for free, and you can just go online and you can access it there.
Is the Citizens Campaign born out of frustration or anger, or just there's got to be a better way? What's your view of it?
It's born out of a sense that we got a little bit fat and lazy in this country, and as I said, ourselves included. And we realized that we were withdrawing from government and just leaving it to the elected officials, and things started to kind of go awry. And we have children, and we want our children to inherit a working democracy and a government that they can afford. And so that means that we have a job to do, and we're calling upon our fellow citizens to answer the call to service.
And how do you motivate people to do this? If, you know, Joe Beer Can is at home sitting on the couch or whatever and just is watching the TV and saying, I'm fed up with Trenton, my taxes are too high, I can't stand it. How do you get folks like that to participate?
Well, it's not for everybody. I mean, leadership is always 1% of the population, and so it's not for everybody. But the way you motivate them is through example, and everybody involved in this call to service are over 300 teachers, mentors, and legal experts that work with citizens, all for free. And by doing that themselves, then they challenge others. And when people get involved, it feels good. My wife calls this Alcoholics Anonymous without the alcohol, because you feel frustrated because you don't really know how to affect change. Then you learn a little bit about the political insider moves and your legal rights, and you get a little coaching, and you make a difference, and suddenly you're telling everybody else, and that's how it really works.
You've got another one of these summits coming up in Camden in September. Talk about who you want there, what you envision for that event.
Well, we've been working hard. We started to have the Call to Service summits in South Jersey. We did one at Stockton College last March, and we're having one on September 14th, 7 to 9 o'clock at the Camden County Community College. Mayor Dana Red is going to be the keynote speaker. And what we want is just regular South Jersey citizens who want to make a difference. Not someone who wants to come and just complain, but somebody who wants to really make a difference, who wants to get control of their property taxes, cut government waste out, and give an example to their children that America was built on service.
One of your admirers described you as a guy who tilts at windmills. What motivates you to do this, Harry?
I think I'm more like Sisyphus. I try and roll the rock up the hill. My wife said, look, we were fortunate, we did well, and we can't just go off to retirement and leave our children without a functioning government. And she was right, and I heeded her command, if you will. And a lot of people are responding to that as well. We've gotten to a point where it's not enough to just get your children through college and say, okay, you're on your own. We've got to give them a government that works for them and one that they can afford.
Harry, do you have a website where people can go to get in touch?
Right, and they can register for this September 14th summit at the Camden Community College at jointhecampaign.com. Just go on there, you can get the free courses, you can come to the summit, and you can answer the call to service.
All right, and you can get Harry's manual as well, the Citizen's Manual. Harry Pozycki, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the summer blood shortage and what you can do to donate. Please stay with us.